Hello law aspirants. So here next series of our Hindu vocabulary. I hope you have noted all the words and you're ready with the things. Okay, so let's start directly with lot many words and lot many synonyms of those words. Okay, a lot many means we'll be doing ample number of words. The list would overflow with these words. Come on, so let's begin with our words for today. I've seen, you can see so many PPTs and things that I've done for you, and this is all these pains have been taken, the efforts have been taken that the students are able to understand each and every word thoroughly and they don't face any problem. The word which we have for today, that is the word beleaguered. Beleaguered is anything which is in a very difficult situation, something which is hard pressed, something which is trouble, something which is besieged, you hold it very tightly, something which is blocked. You don't allow that thing to happen. You put in such a situation that the thing cannot bloom and blossom. See the idiom that we use, that means you don't allow that thing to happen. So means you put spokes in the wheel. This means, actually this idiom means, you thwart the execution of a plan. You don't allow that thing to happen. You put in a very difficult situation. It is hard pressed, it is troubled, it is besieged, and it is something that is blocked. It's a kind of an impediment, impede. It was a part of the mock test question, kind of an hindrance, right? Obstacle, barrier, right? And then you allow the thing to happen, you let the thing bloom and blossom, that's the opposite of it. Beguile word. Now beguile means charm or enchant something, you attract something, you have a very manner of lure something, right? That's the exact word I would say. You have a habit, you could trap somebody by your resisting appeal, irresistible appeal. You trap someone, that is what is beguile. This is a charming or an enchantment you do on something. It's an, if you say you are an enchanter, that means by your you should be enchanted by the words of vocabulary, because this is something which is an irresistible temptation, a desire to learn more and more. See, the usage could be positive or the usage could be negative. As per you use the words, that the meaning is there. The opposite would be, of course, not attractive, that is repel or unappealing. This catches your attention, so it's very, I use the word eye-catchy, eye candy, and eye poppy. Okay, turning to the next word for today, that is battered. A famous poem, if you have heard of John Donne's Holy Sonnet, batter my heart 3% God. Batter means beat my heart. If you've seen people, children, I would take up the example of women who used to wash clothes in the olden times. They used to beat it very harshly so that all the dirt of the clothes should come out, and the same is required from God. He has to beat us down so that we can try again, we can stand again. It's, a paradoxical image, paradoxical image, the literary term if I would use. He says that God, you beat me that I can stand on my legs. God, you make me your slave that I can become free. The lines appear very paradoxical. God, you enslave me, I will become free. God, you get into my body and I'll become pure. This is a paradoxical twist and image from the word battered. It means beating, thrashing. Don't thrash with words only or with a hammer only. You thrash with many more things. A kind of a humiliation, embarrassment, insult is also beating. And time or fate gives you a strong beating. If you're not going to study, you'll be battered by fate, right? This is a personification. So literary devices, ample number of literary devices you come to know when you're reading it. Injured by repeated blows or punishment, beaten, assaulted, thrashed or thumped. Something you damage completely. And the opposite, right, the idiom to make a mincemeat, right. And the opposite would be undamaged, something which is not spoiled. Okay. Moving on to the next, that is avert. Avert is to stop something, prevent that thing to happen. It is turn away one's eyes or thoughts. You prevent, you stop, you avoid, you try to not face that, avoid encounter. And something, it is you are avoiding the encounter, and the opposite would be face or encounter. There are some people whom we don't want to face, the bugbears. We try to avoid the bugbears. Who are bugbears? Bugbears are people whose company is avoided by most of the people. They're very boring people, right? And I hope you are not going to be the same. Audit. Audit is very often you've heard by the CAs do a lot of audit. What is audit? It's an official inspection of an organization's accounts. Typically an independent body isko dekhti hai ki accounts are properly maintained, they are paying their taxes in time, everything is done properly. That's an audit. To inspect, to examine, to survey, to look over, to go over, to have an idea of what is happening around, that is audit. The opposite would be go over, skim. Skim is just having a glance. In the newspaper, skimming and scanning is done. Yes, you just see the headlines, you don't go in the details of something. That is called skimming. You just read the headlines. Moving to the next word, that is audacity. Audacity is very bold and brave person. It's a quality, yes, with the animal world. Leonine. Leonine is a quality which is of brave people, being very chivalric by nature. As a warrior is very bold and brave. You're willing to take bold risks, you're bold, you're very daring, you're fearless type of a person. You're not afraid of anything, you're unafraid, you're fearless, right? And the opposite would be timid, coy, shy, nervous. To become yellow is the idiom we use. You can write it down. There was no space, so I'm just noting it down for you. Please note it down. To become yellow means, yes, to be shy and nervous. Ascend. Have you heard of the ascending order and the descending order? Ascend, this is ascending and this is descending. This is ascending, this is descending. Ascend, this is descend. So when you rise high, you're attaining power, you're coming into limelight and focus, you're having the dominance over something, you hold water. You have a great weightage or importance in any field, whether in your office, whether in your workplace, or whether at home or in relations, right? So that is an ascendancy, occupation of a position of a dominant power or influence, dominance, supremacy, right? So this is something where you attain a very superior position, right? It's a dominating position. The opposite, that is subordination. This gives you a kind of superiority complex. This gives you an inferiority complex, which we talk about by Sigmund Freud in his psychology, right? Next words for today. Please note down any word that you have missed, you can ask. The next word, that is apprehensive. Apprehensive is something which is fearful, which makes you afraid of it, very nervous in that. The idiom is very fearful, the idiom to get white knuckles. Please note the idiom. See, these are our knuckles, and if you are getting white knuckles, you are very frightened and awe-inspiring, something which fills you with fear. Awe-stricken कर देते हैं हम इसको. Awe-stricken, fearful person, something very alarmed, anxious or fearful, that is something bad or unpleasant is going to happen, like impending disaster. You're worried about the impending disaster. You're alarmed, worried, uneasy or nervous. The opposite would be, yes, you're confident, you are not lacking in you have got lacking in your surety or certainty, you stick to your ground, you're very confident. The next word that we have is apprehend. Apprehend is to arrest someone for a crime, or you see something, try to hold something, you know, pakad ke rakhna usko, right? And the opposite would, you miss that. You hold the grip of something, as we use the word clinch, and this is let go, right? The next word from the root an. Please note, an root means not or without. Normally is not normal, simple word, abnormal. Something that deviates from what is standard. जो एक particular standard है उससे हट जाए, normal नहीं हो, away from normal, away from the track. It is bizarre. It's a queer fish. It is strange. It's not standard, it's not normal or expected, it's odd, it's peculiar, it's abnormal, it is irregular. देखिए एक particular trend होता है कोई चीज़ को करने का, that is the track we follow. And if you're doing something away from the track, it's a very bizarre, his attitude was very unusual. Right, it was very unusual or bizarre. It means it was a queer fish. It was something very odd and unique, very strange, not expected. In the normal trend, you don't expect such thing. The opposite would be conformity, regularity, illustration, conformance, exemplification. Means पूरी तरह से समझा रहे हैं आप उसको. You're giving a specimen or an example. As we use the word elucidate, elaborate, explain with an example, right? That's the meaning, the opposite of this word. That's quite normal. To explain something, you have to be more illustrative in your attitude. The next word, that is anim, adversion. There are two words. Anim is mind or soul. Adverse is opposite. You can take it not in favor of. So in a way, your mind is not in favor of something, right? So this is criticism, this is censure, this is accusation, this is flag. In fact, the idiom which is very commonly used, that is to pick holes. It is called chaffing. Yes, it is in a type of a censorious kind of an attitude. It is something where you are in a very fond of picking holes or finding faults of something. The opposite would be approval, compliment, praise. You remember the word eulogize, appreciate, laudatory, laud root and commendation. Okay. The next word, anarchy, with the root an, again not, and arc is rule. So anarchy is a state of absence of non-recognition of authority or other controlling system. It's a state of lawlessness. It is nihilism. It is mobocracy. Mob, violent people, the rule of the violent people. And when there is very systematic, ordered things, then it will be opposite of it. Right? I hope you've understood all the words that we have noted. I'll be taking these words in the next class further in our case of Hindu, and we'll be discussing all those doubts which you have related. Please do write to us. Your feedback is very important for us. Thank you, students.